Hey guys and gals, welcome back again to another episode of Haunted Gaming. This time we have a creepypasta made by a fellow subscriber. This creepypasta begins with a person named Austin. Austin was rummaging through his home in search of childhood things, and Austin found an old Nintendo GameCube and began to think about the fun times he had with the console. Austin even remembered that his favorite game was Luigi's Mansion and tried to find it, but in the end couldn't. Austin loaded up his GameCube without any disc in it and decided to go check what was in the memory card. It was Austin had found a Luigi's Mansion save game, but instead of it saying Luigi's Mansion, it only said good night, which is weird since that's what happens when you die in the game. That's what it says. But the icon was completely normal and whatnot. Austin then later went to bed that night, and in the morning, Austin had this uncontrollable urge to just play the game, and decided to head to his local game store and find a copy of the game. Every store Austin tried would give him no luck, and he eventually resorted to the internet, specifically eBay, to get his copy. Austin only found one copy, however, which is very weird, and this copy was in near perfect condition, although it had some scratches. Austin even believed, or almost believed, that some of the scratches spelled out good night, but thought that he was just over-imagining it, so he wrote it off. Austin loaded the game up and noticed that there was only one file option to select, unlike the usual three. Austin noticed the save file was played up to Area 4, which implies that you either finished the game or are very close to finishing the game. Austin noticed upon selecting the save file that the boo counter registered only half of the boos caught, and the boo figure was transparent and only had red eyes. Upon loading up the save file, Luigi was killed instantly and the game whispered good night. There was a power surge and Austin had to reboot his GameCube. Austin then checked the memory card screen once again and noticed that the save file had shown Luigi's face, horrifically melting, however. The save file still read good night, so Austin went back into the game and noticed that there was only one save file to select from, instead of giving you one used save file and two non-used save files, like, for example, Mario Sunshine. But yeah, Austin selected the save file and spawned in the final boss room, even though no matter what, you always have to spawn in the main room of the mansion, the lobby. Bowser fell from the sky like normal, but instead of his yellowish skin, it was now dark red, and Bowser had sharper and longer horns. Bowser then let out this scream, and the battle started. Austin tried battling Bowser, but no matter what, couldn't even evade Bowser's attacks or anything, and died only seconds after the battle begun. The game read good night in a slightly lower pitched voice. And this time it was completely clear, not even a whisper anymore like the last time the game said goodnight. The power surged again for the second time, and when it came back, Austin loaded the game up again, and this time when he checked the memory card menu, only Luigi's neck could be seen, and the game save read cursed. Austin reluctantly loaded the game up, and instead of the boo counter showing 50-50 this time, all it showed was weird numbers. The red eyes on the boo figure were gone, and in the figure's place was Bowser's head, all covered in blood, with eyes deep in their sockets. Austin loaded up the file and just began to play it, and this time it played normally. All the areas were unlocked, and one room was dark red, and it was called Good Night. Austin decided to head to the room. It was on the top floor, and when Austin opened this room up and went inside, he noticed that the walls were red and blood was splattered all over, and there were these portraits of demonic ghosts on the wall. One was rattling, which was, incidentally, the creepiest one. Austin then sucked it up with the Poltergeist 3000, and upon sucking it up completely, Luigi's health shrank to 0 and the game screamed good night, and the power completely ran out. The TV was still on, and a frightening image was shown with a loud noise, and Austin was knocked back against the wall and fell to the floor lifeless. In the epilogue of the story, it stated the neighbors claimed to hear a loud alien-like scream, and some even saw the lights in his house go out completely. One of the neighbors rushed into the home to help Austin, and upon entering the home, heard the words good night, and exploring the house, the neighbor found Austin knocked out completely with a scar on his forehead. There was also a GameCube disc there as well, with the words written on it, Luigi's Curse. In the end, 911 was called and Austin was dead on the spot, and not pronounced dead on the spot, and professionals said he died of a heart attack. But no one could figure out that scar on the forehead, which resembled a dinosaur to some extent. Austin was cremated, and upon cremation, from the crackling fire, it almost sounded like Austin said, "Good night." Alright, before I go into this, I believe this is the author's first attempt at a creepypasta, and for what it is, I think it was pretty good. Yeah, it had cliches, like, Austin going to purchase the game off of eBay, but really think about it. I mean, I was at my local game store the other day, and I never noticed a copy of GameCube or a GameCube game, PlayStation 2, or Xbox game that was reasonably popular. They just don't carry them anymore. Hell, the store I go to doesn't even have Xbox games. So that's understandable. As far as the only one copy on eBay goes, that's pretty unbelievable. Seriously, if you go on eBay right now, or any other site for that matter, search up a copy of this game, you will find a copy. I assure you. But then again, let's overlook these, since you gotta get the game from somewhere, and at least this creepypasta didn't do something where you had some old guy or some store clerk give it out to you for free. No, that honestly was not even trying. I mean, it happened once and it worked once fine in the Ben Majora's creepypasta, but other than that, all the other ones just threw it in like it honestly meant nothing. They didn't do anything with it. At least this was somewhat plausible. The one thing I really liked was the ending. It didn't use any unnecessary ways to kill off Austin. If some of you remember the Tails doll creepypasta that I did, it basically used a plushie to kill off the two characters in the creepypasta, which is, in my opinion, is completely stupid. And here in this creepypasta, at least Austin died of what we assume a heart attack, which is plausible considering he must have seen scary imagery and loud noises, so it seems plausible there. Another thing I liked was that this creepypasta was actually building up to the ending as well. I mean, it didn't really detail everything in the beginning. It gave you time to build up that whole creepy level, so that was good. Because if a story does that in the beginning, like where it shows you all the scary stuff, then it's just silly. So I thought that was really great too, and all in all, I think it's a great creepypasta, and although it has flaws, I still find it to be good, and a great first attempt at writing a creepypasta, and hope that the second one this author writes is better. And I also want to ask you, yes you the viewer, what you think about this creepypasta, and what could make it better. Also, if you're wondering about the author, again, it's written by a fellow subscriber. I actually did make the mistake of not asking if they would want their name in the video, so when the person hopefully gives me consent, I will put an annotation in the video with a link to their channel, and if they want, I'll post the creepypasta on our blog if they so choose. And yeah, that's really it for Haunted Gaming this time. So if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. This is Some Ordinary Gamers, out.